Hey folks, welcome back to Max Nave Horsemanship today. Lovely day today. Well, relatively speaking, around here it is anyhow. It's nice sun. It's right around freezing and just a very light breeze, so it's not horrible out. And I've just been hanging out with the horses a bit. And well, one of the things I've been doing is I've been brushing them because it's that time of the year when they're shedding like crazy. And well, it brought to mind when I was doing it, the things that we do with our horses are allegedly for our horses, but are we really doing it for the horse, or are we doing it for ourselves? And sometimes those are really hard questions to answer because we really don't like the answers. And I had to step back and think about, why am I doing it? Now, there is some theory that it actually does make the horse feel a little better if you get rid of some of that excess coat during the shedding season. But I think largely we do it for ourselves. I hate to admit it, but yeah, the sooner we can get that coat to come out with a brush or whatever, curry comb or whatever you got, shedding comb sort of thing, the sooner we can get that coat out, well, the less of it's going to end up stuck to me. And, well, that kind of applies to all of them. I actually brushed a few of them today, partly just to socialize them a bit and that sort of thing. So, I mean, there are times where it can be a beneficial thing in your training. But for the most part, though, why do we do it? Well, we just do it for ourselves because it makes us feel better about looking after our horses. Makes us feel like we're doing something for them. And we get rid of that hair that would otherwise be stuck to us. So, and well, brushing, that's not the only thing. Okay, there's, and then there's the grooming where you brush them to make them look pretty. Well, I'm not even going to tell you which horse is mine today because she's the dirtiest one of the bunch, and I'd be embarrassed. But you know what? She doesn't care. And if I was to get obsessed with cleaning her up and making her look good, who's going to benefit from that? Me, because it's going to make me go around going, hey, look at my pretty horse. And a lot of people do that, particularly, if you're showing and that sort of thing where the opinion of the judges matters. And, well, those people half the time, they really don't know that much about horses, at least not my opinion and not from what I've seen. And if they're more concerned about whether or not the horse is clean than whether or not you have good horsemanship, they definitely do not understand horses or training or horsemanship or, well, whatever. And then there's a lot of other things too. We figure, oh, well, got to get ourselves a super comfy gel pad because it's going to be better for the horse. Is it really? There's a lot of things we do that really aren't that good. We get brainwashed into thinking this through marketing and that sort of thing, that this gel pad is going to conform to the horse and the saddle, and it's going to fit better, it's going to displace the weight better. And although some of that might be true, what they neglect to tell you is that gel pad is sealed on both sides. Well, it has to be to keep the gel in, which means the horse's skin can't breathe. It can't sweat, and it's going to create a hot patch on the horse's back, and it's actually going to cause problems. And depending on how thick it is, it may actually adversely affect the fit of your saddle and cause it to shift and, well, all kinds of things. Then you got to tighten it down more, and that's going to be uncomfortable for the horse, not comfortable. A lot of things like that. Well, a lot of people like colored tack. They like their cinch and reins and saddle pads and various things to match, and they like specific colors. You go, oh, my horse likes this color. No, your horse doesn't. Your horse is half colorblind. Not entirely, though. That's another thing that a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that horses are colorblind. No, they're not. Not entirely. They are what are referred to as diachromatic or bichromatic or whatever it is. They can see two colors and variations thereof. They have no red receptor. So if you get something in the shade of red, they probably can't see it worth a darn. And depending on what it's against for background, could be a lot of problems there. Humans, on the other hand, we're trichromatic. Mouthful there. We can see three colors. We got our reds, yellows, and blue. And then you combine those three colors and it makes up all the various colors that you can actually see. Well, animals can't do that, but none of them, almost none of them, as far as I know, are colorblind. But most of them are only capable of seeing two colors. Their vision is somewhat limited. But where they're limited in their color, they excel in, well, they can detect movement like you wouldn't believe. Far better than we can, actually. And their night vision is extremely good as well. Things like that. So, and, well, when it comes to the color of their tack, they don't care. You know, we do that for ourselves. You know, people say, I like my purple reins or my orange reins or my whatever color. And, you know, the horse likes them. The horse likes this color bridle, this color saddle pad and cinch and all this stuff. You know, the horse doesn't give a crap. You're doing that for you. And chances are it's probably costing you money to do it. I hate to say it, but a lot of the things that we do in the name of caring for our horse aren't for our horse at all. You know, all the supplements that people give them. I watched one time a guy was feeding his horse. Oh man, he was spending hundreds of dollars a month on supplements. He had all kinds of extra feeds and minerals and you friggin' name it. And I says, how do you know the horse needs any of that? Have you ever had it blood tested? No. But my friend feeds their horse that all the time. That's what they use, so I should be using it too. Well, it makes them feel better that they're caring for the horse. But they don't actually know for a fact the horse needs any of it. And, well, it's actually costing them an awful lot of money just to feel good. And that's not an isolated incident. I've seen that a couple of times, actually, where people were spending an awful lot of money on stuff for horses that, you know, they didn't even need. You know, they had no knowledge of the horse actually needing it. Their knowledge of horsemanship was limited to the point where they didn't know it actually did any good, but they saw some big name individual doing this, that, or the other thing, so they thought that's what they should be doing. And, well, makes them feel good, right? So is it for the horse or is it for them? So all the things that you do for your horse and all the money that you spend on your horse, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for the horse? If you're doing it for the horse and you know that the horse needs it, you know, I've had blood tests done for several different kinds actually and stuff like that. I've had vet exams done to determine whether or not we have problems. And I don't spend any money I don't have to. If there's no problem there, I'm not going to spend money on it. That's just silliness. That defies all common sense and logic to do that sort of thing. So I would encourage you strongly, do the same thing. Find out what tack is best. And don't buy the stuff that's the most expensive. It might not actually be the best. And in fact, I've seen stuff that was far, far more expensive, and I could tell at a glance it wasn't good for the horse. The cheap stuff was actually far better. And a lot of the tack that I have, I mean the saddles themselves are reasonably expensive because, well, good money gets you good quality. But the accessories that I buy, most of them are not horribly expensive because there's absolutely no benefit to spending more money because it doesn't make a difference to the horse. The horse is not going to be any more comfortable. It's not going to like it any better. And then when it comes to things like minerals and supplements and feeds and that, if the horse doesn't need it, I ain't buying it. It's just a waste of money. And it's a waste of time. It's a waste of a lot of things if you start doing things for your horse that really aren't for the horse. So ask yourself, all the stuff you do for your horse, is it for the horse or is it for you? Have a good day.